All right. Well, I'm Darlene Hansen, and I am a co-director for our new Department of Empower, or our Empowerment Program, I guess we're calling ourselves, right, Tim? And with Disability Voices United, and we retitled ourselves this month because we have some new grants that we're going to be working on that you'll be hearing tons about in the future. But today we have invited our presenter, and I apologize because Devva, I don't actually know how to say your last name. Devva Kasnitz?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. We have our presenter, and we're gonna, as usual, she'll do her presentation, and then we're gonna open up to a conversation with all of you. And so that part, we never know where it's gonna go, but we always get excited about it. So I'm gonna have Ed and do a little bit of office work here, and then Lorna.
Hi, folks. Thank you, everyone, for joining us for another Communication Access Connect. Just a reminder that because this event is interpreted into Spanish simultaneously, we need everyone here to select their language. That includes if you're just going to be hearing the English audio. I've selected, or I've copied and pasted directions for that in English and Spanish into the chat. Basically, you're going to look for the globe in the bottom of your Zoom bar labeled interpretation, click it, and then select the language you want. If you are on a mobile device, tap your screen first to make that bar show up. Now I'm going to hand it over to our interpreter, Lorna Silva, who's going to be giving a description of how to do that in Spanish.
Muy buenas tardes. Para todas las personas que hablan español, estamos usando la función de interpretación de Zoom. Si usted está en su computadora, va a encontrar la función en la parte de abajo de su pantalla, encontrar un icono de globo terráqueo y desde ahí selecciona su canal español. Si no quiere escuchar el inglés de fondo, seleccione la opción silenciar audio original. Si usted está en su tableta o teléfono celular, va a darle clic a los 3 puntitos al lado de la pantalla y desde ahí accede a interpretación y el resto es igual. Muchas gracias. Thank you.
Great. I'm going to turn it over to Tim to get us started.
Hello, my name is Tim, and I am also the co-director of the Empowerment Programs with Darlene. We have a treat for you today to start off the new year. The Communication Access team is always working hard by bringing you topics and speakers that affect our community. Tonight, we have Devva Kasnitz, PhD, presenting on her career as an adjunct professor at the City University of New York. Ms. Kasnitz is a cultural geographer and an anthropologist at the University of Michigan, with postdoctoral work at Northwestern University and at the University of California, San Francisco in health policy and disability. Not only that, Devva Kasnitz also serves on many boards, such as the Society for Disability Studies, the Anthropology and Disability Research Interest Group, and the Association of Programs for Rural Independent Living. She also developed her form of communication, revoicing, which she will further explain to us. I'd like to give a warm welcome to Devva Kasnitz, and she is our heavy hitter to start off Communication Access Connect. Devva, the floor is yours.
All right. Thank you. I'm going to introduce my echo. Echo the echo is.
And as soon as they unmute, I would like to introduce my echo.
Right. And we also have audience.
And we also have
In the audience.
in the
Audience.
evidence
In the group.
in the group,
Russell Shuttlesworth.
Russell Chatsworth.
from Australia,
From Australia.
who was my first echo.
Who was my first echo.
And I will let them both
And I will let them both
say listen about being a voicer.
talk about what it's like being a revoicer.
So we have a script.
We have a script.
They do not usually use a script.
And I don't usually use a script.
Usually I talk and I echo voices.
Usually I talk and my echo revoices.
But for today
But for today,
and for the purpose of the recording,
and for the purpose of the recording,
I'm gonna use a script.
I'm going to use a script.
This will make the whole thing go faster,
This will make the whole thing go faster.
so we will have more time for discussion.
So we have more time for discussion.
The purpose today
The purpose today
is to introduce revoicing
is to introduce revoicing
as a distinct and replicable
as a distinct and replicable
accomplishment, skill, and service
accomplishment, skill, and service
that other people can learn
that other people can learn
and use.
and use.
And I want it to be
And I want it to be
a real thing out in the world,
a real thing out in the world,
not just my own idiosyncratic way of communicating.
not just my own idiosyncratic way of communicating.
So the word voicing is being used.
The words I'm using is being used.
There are at least 2,000 studies folks.
There are at least 2,000 disability
Studies folks who have heard me talk about revoicing
who have heard me talk about revoicing
and have the concept of what it means.
and have the concept of what it means.
And hopefully that will gain in members.
And hopefully that will gain in members.
And it is part of the whole range
And it is part of the whole range
of augmentative and alternative communication,
of augmented and alternative communication,
which can go beyond electronic
which can go beyond electronics.
There is a course.
There is a little chorus,
A variation in the visualization.
I'm sorry, baby blurred.
There is variety
There is variety
in how professionalized
in how to professionalize
a service.
a service.
So, Devva, please read the example.
My dearest brother-in-law is struggling with his hearing loss. Although he has seen people revoice for me for approaching 40 years, and he was a special ed teacher. As we talk one-on-one, I try to get him to revoice by pausing. Silence. I repeat. Silence. He clearly wants me to continue. He is sure that he has understood me. I'm nowhere near as sure. So often we go on only to discover that a key concept was not understood. Simple things matter. Often it is doesn't versus does, a critical difference. Finally, he figures out what I want. I want him to revoice. He declares, I am not going to repeat everything you say. I let it drop. Our conversation is truncated and he never heard my point. Later, I think, why not? I cannot say many words. It can't be that taxing for him. He speaks easily. I do not. So why would he be so upset about repeating everything I say? I can only imagine how it brings up some sadness and frustration over my experience of disability and his hearing loss. He may resent both of our needs. My sister has a careful routine of facing him when they talk. I'm asking him to do a bit of extra work to have clear communication. Here I am in one of my most cherished and intimate of personal relationships, wishing we just happened to be in a conference center hallway where my professional revoicer just happened to be with us and who keeps doing their job. At 72, I care more about my intimates understanding me than any stranger.
Okay, so I have prepared handouts that you folks will get on the online page.
So I've prepared some materials that you guys will get from
The organized page.
the organizers.
The first is a copy of this document.
The first is a copy of this document.
The second is a PowerPoint that you will see at the end.
The second is a PowerPoint presentation that you will see at the end.
And then the other four are there for you as material.
And the other four are there so you have handout material.
Yeah, you can read them after. You can read them and
You can read them later.
so let's talk about what revoicing is
So let's talk about what revoicing is
and the rule of the road.
and the rules of the road.
Take it away, Devva.
Did you want to run the video with the spinning?
No, do it first.
Got it. Rules of the revoicing road, positioning and feedback. I've written about how I position myself in a room and around furniture without a revoicer to have the best possible chance of being understood. An analysis in psychogeography I studied as an undergrad. This is even more important with a revoicer. The revoicer and I need to see each other. This is Deborah speaking. That's absolutely true. There's a lot more than sounds and words that get exchanged. Back to Devva. Pretty basic. I once had a colleague who, unbeknownst to her, silently mouthed words as I spoke. I loved it. As long as I could see her mouth, I could lip read, mouth read her and know if she understood. But positioning is just as much about the audience as it is about us. This is counterintuitive. Positioning should make revoicing obvious, not akin to an interpretation in an earbud. It is best if the audience can see us both as well. The revoicer is just as much of a performer as I am. I was just interviewed for a major documentary film on communication disability with Deborah as an off-camera revoicer, not my choice. Part of the role of positioning is to tell everyone how important the revoicer is. Think about how the public attitude to ASL has changed as ASL has become a publicly performed skill. I too want my audience to see how much work it is for speaker revoicer to perform for them. And I don't want them to stop listening to me because someone else is. The revoicer teaches the audience that I am intelligible. Revoicer and audience create a relationship as well. This is particularly true when the venue and the characters are repeated, like in a class or workplace. Echoing speech to speech. It should be obvious that the revoicer revoices as exactly as possible. They do not change pronouns or tense or any other part of speech as the speaker used it. They do not correct grammar or a malapropism. It may be deliberate. Revoicing is not interpreting. I really don't care if my revoicer understands my meaning. I'm happy if they repeat it accurately, as if singing in a foreign language. When they get lost, at least they get the rhythm and tone. If they revoice, please be dede so we can start, I can say seated without any extra syllables. Now, this varies by revoicer. My sister and some friends tell me that they use everything they know about me to suss out my meaning to help them understand my words. And Deborah says I do that also. Other revoicers use the listen, repeat, forget, listen, repeat, forget pattern. They empty their receptive language part of their brain to better understand phrase by phrase. They are under no obligation to comprehend. This can mean that they may get stuck on the same word in 2 consecutive phrases. They literally forgot, and they may have lost our rhythm, which is alliterative, as is my narrative style. This often leads to the audience prompting the revoicer, something both good and bad. This is often the way ASL interpreters revoice for me. They are my go-to if a trained revoicer is not available. Russ will tell you how sometimes when we taught together and he revoiced, he would sometimes realize what I meant with a delay and then need to stop me to say, I disagree. Revoicing and other AAC. I've noticed that when I use the chat function on a virtual live event, the person reading my chat takes more liberties with what I have typed than I would allow a revoicer. Repeating speech as an echo is not interpretation. So much of personality is wrapped in how we use language. The physical act of repeating what you hear uses different parts of the brain from reading aloud. This is doubly true. First, the act of writing or typing is very different from speaking. Second, the act of reading aloud is very different from speaking and repeating speech. As I write this, I'm thinking about those exact trade-offs. Do I give you webinar attendees this handout and put it on the screen and have it read aloud? Or do I speak to it and give it to you to take home? Neither demonstrates revoicing, but we never said that revoicing doesn't play well with others. We seem to be happy to proliferate many different accommodations, but then ask people to choose one and stick to it. I have always assumed that many backups are good. University Disability Services offices are a great example. Pick one is the message. The wrong message, according to Devva. The California rehab folks who have a new AAC program. They give you an iPad and a group of 4 AAC software offerings, from pictures to the sophistication of Pro EOK. Again, Prolo-Q. I was reading Latin, I apologize. Prolo-Q, again, choose one. For me, Prolo-Q is obvious, but I also wanted a simpler one that I thought might be much better for quick encounters with strangers in public. Nope, they can't do that. Was I trying to cream this system? The whole program probably cost the taxpayers of California several $1,000s per enrolled user, but they can't give me a second $100 software product? They would rather I hire an attendant with my accommodation tax dollars. Radical inclusion. Revoicing is what I recommend for people who want to speak with me. I, quote unquote, need it in a simple inverse relationship to how other people listen. It is their lack of complex listening strategies that costs me so much administrative time and executive brain function. In a recent publication, I suggested, for example, one way to reframe the need for radical inclusion in professional organization meetings would be to mark accommodation needs as relational and interactive. Everyone should fill in the accommodation request box with notes such as, I don't sign, I'll need an interpreter for any presentation by deaf participants. Or, I'll need a revoicer for Devva at these times when I hope to meet with her. I think of this strategy, which I call community-based accommodation, as exemplary of Danilyn Rutherford's 2018 idea of how non-disabled people who are family or allies have disability proximity. Revoicing Devva. I don't know yet how this applies to other people. Within Communication First, we have folks who write lovely essays to present in webinars. I have taken to preparing this text ahead to ward off ill health or machine glitches. It is very much in my voice. I am overeducated. I am the child of beautifully spoken parents. I do love language and can manage in 4 of them. I also have a background in theater, dance, and choral singing. As my speech became more dysarthric in my 2nd and 3rd decades, it also became pithier. I absolutely reject the simplistic. I have so little opportunity to speak. It is slow and takes a village. I realize that I have developed an approach to language that trumpets who I am. Like JFK's speech in German in Berlin when the wall came down, the verb goes at the end of the sentence. Let them to Berlin come, I say, along with communication first, let them, to me, listen.
And I'm sorry, but I could not find
And I'm sorry, but I could not find
my lovely listen t-shirt.
my lovely
Listen,
t-shirt.
it's out otherwise. How one that.
And I have one that I always wear to bed.
No, I would want that.
You're freezing for me,
Oh.
Dev.
Okay.
I'm only getting every few words.
Sorry, I had time for the PowerPoint.
Time for the PowerPoint.
One moment.
Again, you read it hard.
Sure. Just let me arrange my screen slightly differently here.
See, you're not getting the costume today,
You're not getting the dance costume today,
but there it is.
but there it is. Do you want me to go from the top, Dev?
Yep, go, take it away.
Purpose. The event's purpose is to introduce
No,
Revoicing.
no, the PowerPoint.
Oh, that was the first part of that, right? Got it. Never mind. Sorry. In my classes, I open.
Wait, hang on. Go back. Start at the video. Go back one. Go back to the yeah. Click on that slide.
So I'm clicking on this, Devva, and it
Yes.
is not playing.
It's not playing for me either.
Whoa. Okay, give me one moment. And that's if I think it is to play for me. Hang on there.
It says it is saved as view only, and I'm wondering.
Well, I have to just get it up here.
Can I provide a brief synopsis?
Hang on. I did not. Oh, hang on. Okay, here we go. Review. Yeah. And I just got a wrong view. So let me share now. All right. Can you see it?
We see the first screen of your PowerPoint.
Yep. So let's see if I can get it to actually get there. So what's the settings? Let me. Let's Okay. There we go. All right. Let's do this. Okay. Yep.
Dog was above restored.
That is my dead dog and my dead husband.
That's my dead dog and my dead husband.
And this, that's on. And it's called. And down. Yes. You. Wash. No. So. Now about this time,
Now, at this time,
I knew no one could understand me.
I knew no one could understand me.
So I'm still speaking English.
So I'm still speaking English,
But it's gibberish.
but it's gibberish.
Like it's not.
I put it in there for the sound, but it means nothing.
And you'd be amazed
And you'd be amazed
at how many of my students
at how many of my students
said that the second or third time
that the second or third time
they listened to it,
they listen to it,
they understood it.
they understand me.
Gibberish. At the end of there, I said,
And in there, I said,
and I said, this
this particularly pampered,
rapid,
rapid, apologies,
and unintelligible chatter,
and imperceptible chatter.
unintelligible chatter,
I didn't get it.
unintelligible chatter.
I'm sorry, Devva, you're gapping again.
Oh, go on ahead. Go ahead and read it.
3.
Yeah.
In my classes, I open with this video, or a dance, or a flourish of my wardrobe. I start this way to destabilize my audience / students. It shows off some of what I clearly can't do. At the same time, it trumpets what I can do that no one would expect me to do and that they can't. By the way, the video is not captioned because I can't understand myself. And halfway through, I switched from making sense to gibberish because I realized I can't spin and talk at the same time. Slide 4. Performing my student's brain. Oh my goodness, look at her talking. Look at how her face contorts. Who could ever understand her? She just keeps talking. Oh no, she's looking at me. What will I do if she asks me a question? How will I even know it's a question? What should I do? Do the others understand her? Am I alone? Class CART transcript 29/2018.
I play with my students
I play with my students
by setting off the semester
by starting off the semester
with all a voicer
without a revoicer
for the first maybe 10 minutes,
for the first maybe 10 minutes.
and it all totally freak out.
And they all totally freak out.
And then I introduce the voicer.
And then I introduce my revoicer.
Devva with wings.
Fairy godmother Devva developed this technique of revoicing long ago to both stop myself from trying to delude myself that I could be understood or blend into the wallpaper, and to be sure that I control the narrative.
Hang on.
Go to 6?
Yep.
I am an academic, but the academy has never been very welcoming to any kind of speech disability. My hope is that Communication First will help change that while we change the larger society. With enormous growth in publications, teaching, popular culture, and public policy about disability, we need to understand the social, educational, and organizational history in service of understanding current cutting edges of policy and where we think some of the resulting blood flow may soon take us as austerity becomes an embodied disability crisis.
That is written language.
That is the written lens.
In that because of how I look and how I am moved with this whole power that
Just a heads up, Devva, the audio from your screen share is quite low.
oh, okay. Well, you can read it as well. So,
Well, you can read it as well.
so go ahead and read it. There-
And that is my disability. I can't blend. I can't hang out in the background. I'm always visible. I'm on display. And of course, my reaction is, if everyone's going to stare anyhow, let's give them something to look at.
Okay. So that's my prepared. Okay, so question, let me give the draw and Rush attempts to add this and difficulty to add.
Okay, so questions. But first, I want to give Deborah and Russ a chance to, I'm sorry, share.
Yeah.
Hi, everyone. My name is Deborah Addington. It's on the screen, might as well say it. I've been working revoicing for Devva for probably around 10 years now.
Yeah.
My background is also that of an academic, although we're in different disciplines. Once I revoiced for her at the American Academy of Religion conference, where she was presenting a paper on what happens in Judaism, especially, is being able to say the prayers the right way, the proper pronunciation, the proper cadence, the proper scansion. And the book that comes from is very specific in stating that these prayers, these activities, they're no good unless they're done perfectly. And the book itself doesn't give exception for, okay, well, what about people who speak differently? There's no qualifying characteristic for exception or inclusion. There's just an automatic distance based on how you perform your personality in public. All of us get that. My disabilities have, to this point, mostly been invisible to the folks out there. And the more I surrender passing privilege, the happier I am. Because if they're going to stare anyway, let's give them something to look at. I've noticed that one thing that happens in terms of rules of the road, part of how I revoice isn't just listening to Devva. It's watching her face, watching her lips move. It's a process. It's not an in one ear, out the mouth thing. It's a much more complex interrelational structure where, in a sense, everything falls away, at least for me, when that connection is made. Because if I allow my attention to become divided, the first thing that's going to slide off my Teflon memory is whatever Devva just said. And that's not what I want to be doing. When I get the opportunity to revoice for Devva, it fills me with warmth and joy and a lot of humility, because she has one of the most amazing brains I've ever met. And I'm permanently in 29th grade, PhD, ABD. So a mind like that belongs to the public. She's a public scholar. She's an activist. That brain can change the world, as with many of you also in attendance here today. And people value a brain, but not when it comes in a body that makes them uncomfortable. Because our bodies are a lot more uncomfortable to those folks than they are to us. So when I get a chance to work with Devva, I'm being afforded the opportunity to take that brain and give it a voice, an intelligible voice for people who don't bother to listen closely. Revoicing for Devva isn't really that hard. You spend 6 months with her, a couple hours a month, maybe a few Zoom meetings, you're going to pick up a lot of it, the scansion, the tonality, and especially in circumstances like this, where she's speaking very clearly and slowly in an academic context. When she gets going and it's fast, I have to do so much more than listen. I have to feel my way into the relationship. And at that point, it's not just she and I having a conversation. I am an ancillary device, a non-participant in the conversation, unless it's negotiated otherwise. But my assumption is always going to be that I'm a non-player character. I'm an NPC who's there for a function. Because the most important relationship in that moment isn't my relationship to Devva, other than its functionality. It's Devva's relationship to the other people in her life, whether it's colleagues or family. There's also a presumption as a revoicer that if Devva is in the room and I am in the room, there is absolutely an expectation that I'm available to rush right over and help them understand her. It's kind of like the same type of assumption that pregnant people get out in public. Like a belly that sticks out is an invitation for random strangers to walk up to you and put their hand on your belly. It's the same sort of privilege, of prerogative. I've decided I want to understand this person. You with the talking, come over here and do what I need. It really gives us an opportunity to look at communications in terms of expectation and who bears them. Whose job is it when they have something really good to say to get other people to listen? It looks really simple on the surface, at least I think it does. And as you probably noted, I miss plenty. The conference we were at, because Devva's anthropology, I'm theology, and we were both up there on that stage with not only our disciplines meeting, but her brilliant brain ideas and my voice. That's when it's beautiful. That's when it's a rush. It's like, I feel like I did something that mattered in the world. I don't care if anybody noticed I exist. That doesn't matter to me in that moment. But the presumptions on my person as an available service dog, that can be tricky to negotiate because I'm not representing Devva. I'm a tool. But I'm a tool in her bag, which means I represent her. If I start acting a fool, people are going to look at Devva and going, you make interesting choices. And every time we do it, we grow more in jokes with each other.
Right.
We're a
you.
unit.
And Deborah and I
And Deborah and I
are aging into looking like twins.
we're aging into looking like twins, which is true.
So now I have to invite Tanya. She's there, my love.
And now I would like to invite Tanya. Tanya, are you there, my love?
Tanya Anderson.
Tanya Anderson.
Are you there?
Okay, we've
Are
done
you
mute.
there?
I've just
Okay,
hi.
unmute and talk.
I've just been invited to unmute, so here I am. How are you?
Turn on your camera.
So it should be on. Am I still, yeah, I'm not showing up. I'm not quite sure why.
Yeah, usually when that happens, you'd actually have to probably sign out and sign back in again and set your computer.
Don't
Don't do that.
Okay, I'm here.
Your experience.
Tell us your experience. Well, you and I go way back. I met you and Russell the same evening in August of 1998 when I met my son's father as well, Matthew, who I think couldn't be here, but I texted Matthew and our son Elijah at the last minute to implore them to join. And we ran into each other at the Berkeley Blues Festival, which was on the streets of Berkeley. And I don't know, we've been friends since. kind of intermittent. We're not always in each other's orbit, but I think we're always in each other's hearts. And a few years ago, you called upon me because you were coming to Tucson, which is where I live now in Arizona, the border. And you had an incredible opportunity for me. And Deborah, I love how you phrased what you phrased. It is such an opportunity. I am not often dabbling in the realm of academia. Well, second grade academics. You guys can't, I'm in my classroom right now. I'm a second grade teacher right now. So it's a very different level. But there was an anthropological meeting hosted by Wenner-Gren, and it was such an incredible opportunity to be a part of that. And sometimes you call upon me, and we always do it remote. It's been like, have we ever even done in-person revoicing, Devva?
Oh, in Phoenix.
Oh, well, of course, yes, Tucson, the one that I'm speaking of. Yeah, absolutely. Which is,
And Tanya is blonde and blue-eyed and just look anything like
and Tanya is blonde and blue-eyed and doesn't look anything like me or what all of you are envisioning. I very much look the teacher part these days, I think, and middle-aged, but no twinsies with you and Deborah.
Okay, so but
Okay. Can we open it up to questions?
Sure.
Sure, yeah. Okay, great. Well, first of all, I don't know if you're reading the chat, but we're all very excited about all the wonderful points you're making, and it's really making us think. Tim has something he wanted to share, and then we're going to read through the chat. Ed's going to do that for us.
Okay.
We have until 5:30.
Yeah.
So we're good.
Let me get right off.
Let me give Russell, and I didn't catch the rest of that.
I'm going to drop some pearls.
I want to drop some pearls.
Yeah.
Or want him to drop some pearls, sorry.
Well,
Okay.
Yes, pearls. I don't know about that, but we'll try to add to the conversation. And look, I mean, I have to start this by telling people the story of when I first met Devva, the first day I met Devva, when I went down to the World Institute on Disability. I was looking for information on disability rights, disability studies. I decided I was going to perhaps do my research on the sexuality of the men, that a lot of the men that I've been working for as a personal assistant, and turns out to be people with cerebral palsy in the end. It's sort of more specific, but I was looking for information, and I just wanted to know about all things disability and disability rights and disability studies. And so I went down to World Institute on Disability, and within, so I'd say like 10 minutes of talking with Devva, and first time talking with her, you know, it can be a little bit difficult if you don't have a revoicer. So I was understanding perhaps every third word, and I was getting the gist of the conversation. And all of a sudden, Devva starts rolling on the floor and laughing. I don't know what she was saying, but here's this person rolling around on the floor trying to communicate something to me. And I just you know, after that, we talked for a long time, and I realized this person could be really helpful to me around disability issues. But I just came away from that meeting, and it had this magical quality to it. And I was just telling everybody, this person was rolling around the floor and laughing. And you know, she was so expressive. And I just had this inquisitiveness about getting to know this person, and really, you know, just learning about this person and all the different aspects. And, you know, she was just an incredible resource for my work, and for, you know, getting involved in the disability rights movement and disability studies. And I, without meeting Devva, my life would have been very different. She has added so much to my life. And and
this is getting
This is getting embarrassing.
yeah, sorry. Okay, we'll move on just a little bit about the experience of being a voicer, which originally when we were first started getting to know each other and working on disability related projects at the World Institute on Disability, and then also going to conferences. And it's just something that I think was kind of organic for me, is in my conversations with Devva, kind of starting to repeat what she was saying and trying to, to increase our understanding, or my understanding, and then sort of start doing presentations, her presentations. I would be revoicing those. I don't think we were calling it exactly revoicing in the early days, but we started to call it that after a while. And I just find that, I'm just trying to make a few good points here. The relational aspect I find is huge in this thing. You might think it's just being a tool and just, sort of doing this functional sort of process, helping this person to communicate, but it actually has this relational aspect to it that is hard to put into words. And I think Deborah touched on it when talking about how it's a whole embodied sense, this interaction and this grasping Devva's meaning and being able to convey that to an audience of people. I remember that working with Devva, if I didn't get a good night's sleep, then it was harder to sort of get the gist of her meeting sometimes. Or if Devva was having stuff going on in her life, sometimes it would make her more difficult to understand. So there's this symbiotic relationship about not only, how we are interacting and how we're sort of, she's communicating to me and I'm actually getting it, or I'm missing parts of it. Those can be very, very much to do with how one is feeling on a particular day. So it's a very interesting process, but I think the relational and interactive aspect of it, is a huge area that's still, and Devva's done a fantastic job of sort of really getting at the phenomenology of this process. And I really applaud her in some of her papers more recently and talking about these issues. But I think there's still a lot to learn about the process. And I think there's still more to understand about it. And I would hope that, Devva's initiative here, with the group and with, beyond in society at large, would start to really be heard and would start to sort of galvanize some kind of also research as well as applied aspect. And I think I'll stop because I know that we've got a time frame that we're working towards. I could talk for hours, let's just put it that way, but I won't, I won't.
Can I say one thing real quick?
Yes.
Russell, you just brought something really important up for me. Revoicing is by default a disruptive and subversive act. It's an act of social justice because revoicing is living the principle of the belief that all voices need to be heard. Right.
That's bottom line. That's where it's at. And that's, for me, that's the way I always felt whenever I put myself in as Devva's revoicer, was that, again, you said it eloquently about Devva being this brilliant person who was trying to, who we're trying to have people understand all the aspects of what she's trying to say, because they're so important and so significant. And for the public and for others not to realize how important and significant to me is a real injustice. And so that's one of the principles.
Devva, I'm
is-
gonna let, oh, sorry. Sorry, Russell, go ahead. Finish.
No, I just was.
I have a dying question.
That has to be one of the principles of moving forward with this, you know.
I'm gonna throw it to Tim real quick, because he's been patiently waiting with something to say. Go for it, Tim.
Devva, I've learned a whole lot of your presentation, and thank you for giving us a glimpse on your communication methods. It's very interesting. What is the difference between revoicing and communication partners? From my understanding to your wonderful presentation, the revoicer is an appendix to your voice, saying word by word with your personality and your facial structure. Versus, when I use a communication partner, I like them to be my shadow and not be in the picture when I'm speaking and paraphrasing what I'm trying to say. I'm having trouble understanding your methodology on revoicing versus a communication partner.
I get, to me, no, different.
I guess for me, partner is different.
Implies a shared ownership of the meaning.
Partner implies a shared ownership of the meaning.
And revoicing is somebody helping me to have my meaning across.
And revoicing is someone helping me to get my voice across.
And with my best friend,
With my best friends,
the two merge.
the two merge.
But in a situation like now,
But in a
they're
si-
separate.
but in a situation like now, they're separate.
And I think it has to do with who owns the meaning.
I think it has to do with who owns the meaning.
Thanks, Tim. That was, yeah, that makes, I think, a lot of us think. I would imagine it goes to personal choices as well. Right?
Yeah.
But I love
Yeah.
the way you, I mean, you're really making me think about this, but I'm not a person who uses a communication partner or a revoicer. So I think it's up to you guys. Ed, do you want to go through and see it? Do we have questions lined up?
We sure do. One moment, please, so I can scroll back up to one. I know that several people have asked Devva, let me get one of them so I can read them verbatim. One moment, please. Folks are asking what app you use for short and quick communication.
Oh, I don't, they wouldn't give it to me.
I don't, they wouldn't give it to me.
What did you want? What did you want?
Oh,
them to
I
do?
can't remember.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it one that wasn't picture-based, but simple.
One that wasn't complicated?
I'll find out and let you know.
I'll find out and let you know.
Thank you.
Thank you, Devva. A question from our Outreach and Leadership Training Director, Gilda Giron. How can revoicing be funded?
The same way ASL is funded.
The same way ASL is funded.
The same way personal assistant if it's from the problem with personal assistance
The problem with personal assistants
is it's not paid enough.
is they're not paid enough.
Mhm.
So to get voices paid well,
To get revoicers paid well,
you've got to compare it to ASL.
you've got to compare it to ASL.
If some group
If some group
doesn't want to pay my voices,
if some group doesn't want to pay my revoicer,
and if I so
and if it goes on for an hour or so,
$25 an hour,
$25
an hour
an hour,
or so, then they can pay an ASL $100. No,
then they can pay an ASL interpreter.
$100 an hour.
100.
Yeah. So,
Oh, $100 an hour. Got it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Sorry.
and part of what we're doing here
And part of what we're doing here
is a professional thing,
is professionalizing
so that we get the service we want
so that we get the service we want
and they get paid well.
and they get paid well.
I want to tag on that for just 1 second, because what comes up a lot I know for people who are trying to get trained communication partners is the VAC. And what you're talking about as a revoicer, so much like you've all said, is about relationship, which is what we put into the definition of a trained communication partner as well. How do you get that part recognized as significant? It's not like you can go to an ASL agency and hire someone, right?
Yeah, but they at least know.
Yeah,
not,
but they at least know
not to project themselves onto you.
not to project themselves onto you.
Most of the rules
Most of the rules
for how an ASL or a language interpreter
I
or a Spanish language interpreter
Or a Spanish interpreter.
are the same. You copy what's going on. The whole ASL uses facial expressions
ASL uses facial expressions
as words.
as words.
So it's intuitively read the whole person.
So ASL interpreters intuitively read the whole person.
Excellent. Ed, you want to go for the next one?
Sure do. A question translated by Lorna from Lulu is a revoicer like a translator?
No,
No,
because a translator or an interpreter,
because a translator or an interpreter,
translation is written, interpreting is live.
Translation is written. Interpreting is live.
They're going from one language to another.
They're going from one language to another.
They actually know both well.
And they have to know both languages well.
Whereas the voice is staying in your language
Revoicing is staying in your language
and trying to be as close as possible to each word.
and they try to get as close as possible to each word.
Tim has his hand raised.
I would like to use this example. I use the relay service to make phone calls and the operator relay my message to the other person. My friend tells me when I call them on the phone, the operator has absolutely no sense of humor when they are relaying my messages to them. My friend says that our conversation gets lost when I'm calling them through the relay service.
It takes practice.
Yeah. I have a confession to make.
I have a confession to make.
For the last 10 years,
For the last 10 years,
I have sat on the advisory board
I have sat on the advisory board
of the California Telecommunications Service.
on the board of the California Telecommunications Service.
And I never used their service.
And I never use their speech-to-speech service.
But don't tell anyone.
But don't tell them that.
I have and focus with her mobility and
I represent something I didn't catch and mobility impairment
on that committee,
on that committee,
not speech impairment,
not speech impairment,
which is an important thing we have not yet mentioned.
which is an important thing that they have not yet mentioned.
And we have mentioned
We have not yet mentioned. Apologies.
that so much of speech impairment
So-
is motor.
So much of speech impairment is motor.
And those who have those that don't have support.
And those of us that have those problems don't type so good either.
So it's kind of overwhelming.
So it's a double whammy.
All right, do we have more questions, Ed?
Let me review the chat. I'm sure we do. William asks, what was school like for you, Devva? Was the revoicing recognized?
So my speech was not impacted until the end of grad school.
The voice impediment wasn't active until after grad school,
It's the end of grad school.
at the end of grad school. Apologies.
I look like I have CP.
I look like I have CP,
I don't.
but I don't.
I have idiopathic familial depression dystonia.
I should have written those down. I have idiopathic
Familial
familial
portion
torsion dystonia.
So it's familial genetic.
So it's completely genetic,
Runs in Jewish family.
runs in Jewish families.
But it comes on in childhood.
But it comes on in childhood.
I was 9,
I was 9,
and it changes all the time.
and it changes all the time.
So it started in my left arm and my right arm.
Started in my left arm, went to my right arm,
Left leg, right leg,
left leg, right leg,
trunk,
trunk,
speech, neck,
speech and neck,
and now face, eyes.
and now face, eyes.
And but it was that so bad
It can get so bad
that I almost could not walk.
that I almost couldn't walk.
And then it's better in level.
And then it'll level out.
So I have had far more experience
So I've had far more experience
of inherent than you see.
far more experience with my body than you can see.
So it's gotten better. It's gotten worse.
So it's gotten better and it's gotten worse.
So I had that experience of losing function
So I have the experience of losing function
as an adult.
as an adult.
And now,
And now,
as an old lady,
as an old lady,
I'm actually in better shape
I'm actually in better shape
than most of my peers.
than most of my peers. I'm assuming you mean not impeded peers?
Yeah. So there's a whole nother webinar
So there's a whole nother webinar
on ageism with disability.
on aging within disability.
There's aging into disability.
There's aging into disability.
So stay tuned.
So start the train.
Yeah. That's great. Thanks for sharing that part of the story. And do you have more?
I am scrolling through from JC. Hi there, Devva. I am so fascinated to hear about your experiences. I have a question about how do you communicate with people in public?
I'm pushy.
I'm pushy,
Or I'm not.
or I'm not.
So I pick my battles.
I pick my battles.
So at the teller's window at the bank,
So I'm at the teller's window at the bank,
and the new teller looks at me like, what?
so and the new teller looks at me like, what?
And hands me a small glass of paper.
And he hands me a small scrap of paper.
And it is fine. So, pen
And a very fine felt tip pen.
and says, write that down for me.
And says, would you write that down for me?
And I raise my hand.
And I raised my hands.
I then kneel on the floor
I then kneel on the floor
and use my left elbow to hold the scrap of paper still.
I use my left elbow to hold the scrap of paper still.
I take the fine point of the pen
And take the fine tip felt pen.
and try to write with it.
Tried to write it.
And the words are break off the belt.
And of course, I break off the fine point felt tip.
And I go, no, that's a good idea. You need to listen.
That's so great.
Nice idea, but you need to listen.
So I'll go slow.
I'll go slow.
If you treat people nicely,
If you treat people nicely,
you can you fine.
you'll usually do fine.
That's so great. We
She's
have-
unerringly polite until she's not. And then move.
Yeah. I think we have time for one more. Is there one more question, Ed?
From Kathleen. What about revoicers seen as being the source of most of the information, as opposed to the actual person, the person who is doing the communicating?
That's the whole point.
That's the whole point.
That because they are just revoicing,
Because just that they are just revoicing.
it's crystal clear that I'm the author.
It's crystal clear that I'm the author.
And I put them there in next to me
And I put them there next to me.
so that you can see what they are doing.
So you can see what they are doing.
And that's why paraphrasing
That's why paraphrasing
or summary
or summary
is fine if acknowledged as such.
is fine if they
And-
match,
If
The-
acknowledged.
if they acknowledge.
So if I get carried away
If I get carried away
and don't pause,
and don't pause,
my voice can't remember.
my
If
revoicer can't remember.
So by definition, I'm giving them permission to summarize.
So in essence, I'm giving them the permission to summarize.
If I'm being extra careful,
If I'm being extra careful,
It's phrase by phrase.
It's phrase by phrase.
And yes, I am working on a book.
Yes, I am working on a book.
Excellent.
There will be a chapter about revoicing.
There will be a chapter about revoicing.
There will be a chapter about Moses
There will be a chapter about Moses
and his brother who revoiced him.
and his brother who revoiced for him.
There will be a chapter about aging,
A chapter about eating, aging,
and a chapter about movement and dance.
and a chapter about movement and dance.
Nice. We can't wait for that. Well, we have a couple more minutes left, and I do want to say, first of all, thank you, Devva, for tons of information. This has been a really amazing session. I can't wait to go back and like rehash it with the groups that we work with. And I want to thank all of you who are Devva's revoicers for sharing your perspectives and your insights and explanations of how you do what you do. I think that's so important for all of us to hear and know. Yeah, I want to say that on the chat here, I saw a few comments come in talking about the different kinds of technologies. And today we were actually having a conversation ourselves as a group prior to this meeting about how to set ourselves up for communication and AAC use in all these different settings that you all end up in, the public, the school, Zoom, interpreters, any of these settings. And so February's session, Communication Access Connect, is going to be dedicated to that conversation. So please join us, because just in our team meeting for 20 minutes, we had this like mind-blowing, yeah, what about conversation that was really great. So I can't wait to hear all the things that everybody else is going to bring into the conversation. But we really want to help ourselves and our communities understand all the needs that people have when they're using alternate modes of communication, whatever they might be, technology-based or not technology-based. So, and helping everyone out that does use alternate mode of communication, do it to meet their goals, to be the most effective communicator that they want and need to be in the settings that they live in. And so join us in February for that conversation. I'll probably have better words for saying it then, because it's kind of an idea at this point, but it's going to be good. So thank you. Thank you to our interpreters, and we will see you in February.
And I will go through the chat and answer the questions.
And have no fear, I will go through the chat and answer the questions.
And we'll make sure that everyone has access to all the handouts.
And we'll make sure that everyone has access to all the handouts.
You can run all them with the video.
They can be bundled with video.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, it's important to have a library.
It's important to have a library.
Take care, everyone.
Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
This was fun.
It was amazing.
It's fun.
Good.